Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Yalon, and in today's video I'm going to be doing like a behind the scenes, showing you guys how I make my honey growth moisturizing deep conditioner for my business Lavish Curls Beauty. If you are new here, I am the owner and CEO of Lavish Curls Beauty, a all natural hair care business. I have 3 collections. I have a hair growth collection, a moisture collection, and a scalp psoriasis collection. And I know you guys love watching me make products, so I'm going to be trying to do more and more of these videos because I have like over 10 products. So today we're going to be working on the deep conditioner. I actually just woke up and I'm in the kitchen. I done prepped and put out everything, and so yeah, today we are going to be making a batch of 30. I don't want to make too many today. Sometimes I might do a batch of 40, but today we're going to do a 30 batch. So for that, we are going to be using this pot. So this is what I use when I'm typically doing like a 30 batch. This is a 16 quart stainless steel stock pot. So I use stock pots when I make my products, in case anybody was ever wondering. Stock pot, and I did get this from DD's Discounts for only 28 bucks. And yeah, I highly recommend going there because sometimes you might find them for even cheaper. It might be on clearance. I have another one that is 20 quart. So I have 16 quart and I have a 20 quart. My 20 quart I use when I'm making big batches, and then the 16 quart when I'm making something a little bit smaller. Or I might possibly only make a batch of 25. I might do 25. So yeah, guys. And then I kind of got my water baths already set up. So this is kind of like regular pots. I'm not too sure of the quart size, but this is like a regular pasta pot, and then this is like the regular medium sized pot, like if you were making like a small regular batch of mashed potatoes or rice or something. This is like the smaller size. So I use those two to create my water baths, and there's already water in them before I turn on the actual stove to get the water hot. So first things first, I'm going to be working in what is called water phase. So water phase is all the products that go into the water soluble products, because they cannot go into the oil phase yet, because oil and water does not mix, and we have to use our emulsifiers to be able to make them combine so they do not separate. So let's get into my water phase. Okay, so I'm one of those people, I always have my ingredients written out in my phone and measurements. I have my basically my recipe in here. So water phase for my product consists of distilled water. So distilled water, I actually get this from different stores. This one I got from Smart and Final. Sometimes I might get it from Target, Walmart, basically any grocery store. As long as it says distilled water, you're good. Also in water phase is aloe vera juice. I usually get this from Target. Sometimes I might get it from Walmart, but I usually don't go there because there isn't one near me. So it's not a place I typically go to. Also in water phase, I have panthenol. This one was from Formulator Sample Shop, but I don't purchase stuff from there anymore. Nothing wrong with the website, it's just I typically just don't order stuff from there anymore. And if you guys are interested in my full vendor list where I get ingredients, bottles, yada yada, click the link in my description box. Head over to lavishcurlsbeauty.com, and under the tab called ebooks, I have an ebook for my vendor list, and I have an ebook for how to start a natural hair care business. Okay, so honey is in there as well. I like to get raw honey. Once again, you can get this from the grocery store. Glycerin. Got my glycerin. And then nettle and burdock are my herbs. I actually took them out of their original packaging, and I just put them in these containers instead, because I just liked it in here better. Because sometimes when they come in those bags, they start to rip, or after a while the Ziploc starts to not close and it doesn't keep my stuff as fresh. So I like to put them in like containers. So this is the Burdock, and then this is the nettle powder. So got that. I got my scale. So my scale, this is an Accutech scale. It came from Amazon. And then yeah, let's get into measuring. Now I can't tell you guys my exact measurements, but I can let you guys watch me work and kind of get an idea of how things are, because if I tell y'all the measurements along with the ingredients, I gave you the recipe. So anyways, watch me work.
Usually I don't do this often, but since recruiting isn't an option due to unusual rain and thunder, baby I wonder, would you just put your sweats on for me? Yeah. I got the plug, I made the call for me. I'm talking late night for you. Let me lay a great time on you. Don't hesitate, no, don't you? Just say you will. Come through and chill. Just say you will. Come through and chill.
Hold me till I scream for air, breathe, and wash me over until my will runs dry. Send all your sins all over me, baby, baby.
Okay guys, another thing I want to mention, so my formula is done in grams, so wanted to mention that when I'm on the scale, I put it on grams when I'm measuring things out. And then also, if you guys see me like doing stuff on my phone, I'm usually calculating each ingredient times the amount of the batch that I'm doing. So for instance, like honey is 3 grams, so I'm doing 3 grams times 25 to get the amount. So yeah, and then I always like to pull out my smaller scale, my Tomeva. This is just a digital touch pocket scale for when I'm doing my smaller things like my powders to measure out. Okay, when I do my powders, I like to use this thing. It's called Anchor Hawking. It measures up to, what is this, 150 ml. I got this from Big Lots. Alrighty guys, so now we're going to be getting into oil phase. And that phase is where you have your oils, your butters, your emulsifiers. So let's get into that. I usually just use like a regular mixing bowl to do this. And I forgot what size this is. I've had this for a while. Wow. And in case you guys are wondering what I clean with, this is the Pine Glow from Dollar Tree. It is an antibacterial and a disinfectant cleaner. My favorite when I'm doing my products. So once again, let's get into this. So in our oil phase, we have castor oil, which helps to thicken your hair, promote healthy hair growth. We have apricot oil, which also is great for hair growth and making your hair healthier, and also sweet almond oil, because these are all a part of the hair growth collection. Main ingredients. We have seti alcohol. Seti alcohol is used to thicken your product and give it that nice creamy consistency. And then BTMS 25 to be specific is our emulsifier. I used to use BTMS 50 when I first started. It's a little bit more expensive, and I just realized like BTMS 25 was more commonly used in natural hair care, so I was like, I'm gonna change it to this one. Sorry for all the walking back and forth, y'all. And then in here we have some good old mango butter. Once again, all this will be on the vendor list.
Oh, hold me till I scream or breathe, and wash me over until my well runs dry. Send all your sins all over me, baby, and rock right up to the side of my mountain until you reach my peak, baby, and reach right into the eye of my mountain. I want to play in your deep bay, deep bay,
Feel that heat, and we can ride the boogie, share that beat of love. I wanna ride all night, working in the milk sun. I wanna ride all night, working in the milk sun.
Okay, so that wasn't too bad actually. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more of a struggle to film, but it wasn't too bad. I wish I would have got more close-ups, but it's okay. So now what I gotta do is let everything melt down, and you want to let especially the oil phase melt down to everything basically looks like oil. Like you should see no white, like it needs to look like oil when it melts down fully. So also you're gonna want to get a digital thermometer, and this just helps you check the temperature. I usually wouldn't check it this early, but you're gonna put it on surface temperature. So for instance, that's 75 degrees Fahrenheit right now. Water phase is at 75 as well. When it melts down, you want to make sure these both water phase and oil phase are around the same heat temperature before you go in and emulsify your product. So this meltdown is probably going to take a good 20 minutes. Sometimes I like to heat the water up prior because then it'll melt down faster. But yeah, I usually just let it do its thing, and I come back in and out just to check on it. During this time, I usually start creating content, like editing content I already had, getting social media posts together, doing emails for my business. because this has to do a whole thing. Well, after it does that, that's when I take it off the heat and I go in with my emulsifying blender and I emulsify water phase a little bit. I add an oil phase, emulsify, so it can all blend in together. And then I gotta put it in the freezer, and I leave that in the freezer for about a good hour because it needs to solidify and cool down. And then in cool down phase, you gotta add liquid Dermal Plus, which is your preservative, and you add that preservative always at 122 degrees Fahrenheit or less. Add in your Dermal, add in if you're doing essential oils or if you're adding a fragrance. This doesn't have a fragrance, but I add in essential oils at the end plus my preservative. Give it one more good mix, and that's when I put it into my filling machine, pump the bottles, and yeah. So I'm gonna let that melt down, y'all. That's some background. Oh yeah, and then this is when I clean up and I put all the ingredients back where they went. But I'm not about to film all that. I'm gonna just jam out, listen to music, and put everything back. So by the time it melts down, I have a clean space to work in. Okay guys, so this is what I mean by your product should look completely like an oil by the time it's completely melted down. So this is the BTMS, Seti alcohol, the mango butter, and all the oils completely melted. And so I just take my thermometer and I do the temperature. So as long as they're close to the same temperature, this is 139, this is 130, I can take them off the heat and then I can emulsify them.
Do you remember that one night when we fell in love? What we had felt so right, 'cause we had trust. Now it's drowning in our lives. I know we're broken up, you know the feelings deep inside. So what's you, what we've been through, I miss you. And you.
Okay guys, so I just finished that up. I got this from Target. This is the Cuisine Art 250 watts. Yeah. And then one thing I like about using these is that I can easily, when I'm done emulsifying, just put the lid over it. Because before, when I was using just like regular bigger mixing bowls, I always would take like the plastic wrap, saran wrap. I don't have it anymore, but I would take it and like cover my pot with the clear plastic wrap so that it could all just stick in. But I love this so much better because it has handles and it has the lid, so then I can easily just put it right into my fridge. And what I do is, before I put it in the fridge, I set my fridge to coldest. So I change the temperature in the refrigerator to coldest. That way it can freeze faster. You don't have to set it to coldest, but if you don't, it's going to take longer to freeze. So you'd have to figure out your freeze time. But typically for this kind of batch, I could probably leave it in here for 40 minutes to an hour, but I am of course going to check it periodically. So I'm going to go ahead and just put it in the freezer. Alright y'all, we are in the final stretch. We are in the finale. We just took this out of the freezer. It's currently at 112 degrees. Sometimes when you move it around, it'll say different. Yeah, it's around 112. So like I said, you can add liquid Dermal Plus at 122 degrees Fahrenheit or below. So it's time to add our liquid Dermal Plus. So this is Dermal Plus. This is my preservative of choice. There's different preservatives you can choose from, but just do your research and kind of figure out what you would like best for your products. This is just what I've been using lately, but I am going to in the future look into other preservatives because some brands use different preservatives and I just kind of want to see what's best. But from what I've seen so far, Dermal Plus has been working pretty good for me. My essential oils that I add in is peppermint oil, tea tree oil, lavender oil, and rosemary oil. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now, and yeah.
I wake from my slumber. I wish I could call you up. Miss how you'd put your love on me.
Why you got my number? Wish I could feel your touch. Wish you could follow up on me.
You never know when to chill. Always talk about keep it real. Only till you've had your fill. Then you wanna cry ill will. Really thought you know the deal. Oh well, I guess that's what happens. When two fools be falling in love, mixing some pain and some passion. Nothing is ever enough. If you can take my hand, I promise we'll fall love again. Yeah, yeah. If you can take my hand, I promise we'll find love again. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You don't even say what's up. Round your bush, you act so tough. Like you never been in love. If you don't quit acting up, alone is where you're going enough. I promise. You may think that I'm crazy. You should ask around about me. Put your trust in me.
Okay guys, so this is the final look. This is our hair growth moisturizing deep conditioner. So as y'all can see, it looks super creamy. Love the texture. So this is it, you guys. This is how I make my honey growth moisturizing deep conditioner, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it in my filling machine and pump everything. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. If you guys want more behind the scenes of me making products, comment down below, let me know so I can keep doing this, because I make shampoo, I make deep conditioner, I make leave-in conditioner, I make hair oil. So let me know if you guys want kind of like more behind the scenes. Do not forget to check out my business, Lavish Curls Beauty, link in the description box below, and I will see you guys in my next Entrepreneur Life video. Bye.